Dear viewers, welcome to the Miind My Miind talk show. Today is World Mental Health Day, and the topic for this year, the theme for this year is making mental health a priority. I think the pandemic has left a big mark on all our minds, and therefore the theme of this year is bang on. Today, we have Dr. Aishwarya Parajpe, who is a practicing clinical psychologist, and she has been practicing as a therapist for over 12 years. And we would like her to help us understand this topic a little more. In fact, something very basic question that comes to mind is, why should we even make mental health a priority? So Dr. Aishwarya, welcome to the Miind My Miind talk show, and thank you for gracing us with your presence, and we would like to hear your thoughts on this.
My pleasure, ma'am.
So let us understand, why should we make this a priority?
Well, to start with, I would like to say something about what exactly mental health means. Mental health for me would be how you think, how you feel, and how these thoughts and feelings have an impact on your behavior. So for me, mental health is all about this. And of course, poor mental health would mean that if these thoughts and these feelings and these behaviors are affecting your day-to-day life, if they are affecting your efficiency, if they are affecting your schoolwork, then that for me would mean poor mental health.
I think very well said. It all starts from the mind, and if we have our mind right, thinking right, we are good to go. But this is a very common thing, that all of us have negative thoughts. All of us get driven very naturally to negativity, and that is why one hears so much about positivity. You hear people say, stay positive, stay calm. But how does one really do that?
I would say there are some very basic ways of keeping oneself very calm. Something as basic as breathing. We all have this power of healing ourselves, and very rarely do we realize that breathing can actually help us to heal. Now, something as basic as breathing exercises means deep breathing exercises, or maybe anulom vilom. It's very simple, not very time consuming, yet extremely, extremely useful. The second way would be meditation. Now, a lot of people feel meditation has got something to do with spirituality. I would say that it has a very scientific basis to it. And if you are able to do that for say 20 to 30 minutes in a day, that is something that is going to make sure that you are extremely calm all through your day. The third thing, which is very often neglected, is exercise. And by that, I mean physical exercise. Now, a lot of people feel, how has that got to do with mental health? Well, exercise has the power to release something called endorphins, which are the positive mood hormones or the positive mood neurotransmitters in the brain. And we very often tend to not give it so much of importance, but try out some form of physical exercise for just half an hour for a month, and you will see the results in your mood and also your anxiety.
Very beautiful.
Sleep And food habits are also very often neglected, and those are also very important to maintain good mental health.
Very beautifully, you have said that each one of us has the power of healing ourselves, and the steps that you elucidated, I think, are very simple. Most of us know, but we all still ignore. So the question, I think, that becomes more apparent is, why do we even need to make this a priority? Why do we need to even do all of this? So, but the way you put it across, that yes, these are the basic healthy living ways, methodologies, which will keep us on a healthy mental track. But from a mental standpoint, what does it really mean in our daily lives? What does mental health really transform to? The word is used very often and very loosely, but what does it really mean in our lives, in our day-to-day lives?
See, a lot of importance is now being given to the physical health. So something like cold or maybe cough is given so much of importance, but the mental health is something that is put on a back foot all the time.
And not even recognized.
Of course, most of the times it's also neglected. It's pushed under the carpet, saying, oh, nothing so much, so no problems at all, I'm okay, I'm fine. And believe me, it is something that can actually bring about so many problems. And not only the mental ones, mind you, it can actually lead to some physical issues as well. So something as common as depression can actually lead to physical fatigue. It can lead to weight loss. It can lead to sleeplessness. It can lead to unnecessary weight gain. And all of these are often attributed to bad eating habits, not exercising, but very seldom do we realize that it could be depression. And it is as important to have good mental health as it is to have good physical health. And they are, of course, very deeply interrelated. Unless you have good mental health, you can't have good physical health, and vice versa.
So how do you pick up these red flags in our day-to-day lives that one is kind of going haywire?
So something as simple as stress, as simple as anxiety, as simple as anger management issues, these are the basic starting points of poor mental health and eventually mental health disorders. So if you are unable to handle your stress, if you are unable to handle your anxieties, if you are unable to handle your mood, if you are unable to handle your anger, these could be the starting points of poor mental health disorders, or maybe mental health disorders as they are called. On a more severe level, it could be panic attacks. It could be generally feeling anxious about just about everything, generally not being able to control the temper, feeling so low, so badly low that you just don't feel like living. And in the extreme levels, it could mean hallucinations and delusions, which means that you believe something to be true when it is actually not existent, or maybe you hear some voices or you see some things which are not really existent. And these could be like the extreme levels of mental health disorders.
So if a simple stress or continuous anxiety attacks continue to happen, they can actually lead to more severe ailments, mental ailments. Is that?
Absolutely. Unattended symptoms of this sort can really lead to bigger problems. And this is anybody's guess that this tends to happen even with physical disorders, doesn't it? If you ignore your cold, if you ignore your cough, it kind of gets converted into fever, and maybe it could be something more. It could lead to body aches and all of that. So similarly, if you detect these issues at an early level, then obviously you are preventing your mental illness from growing or increasing to the next level. So it is absolutely important that you catch these symptoms in time and attend to them. And if you are unable to attend to them, visit a professional.
I think that's very important, and that is the one taboo that people need to drop, that you need to visit a mental health professional if these symptoms start hampering your day-to-day lives. A stitch in time saves 9, and I think that is something that is very, very important for each one of us to understand. So, dear viewers, thank you very much, and it's been great having you here with us, Dr. Paranjpe. Thank you for your nuggets of information that I'm sure will help each one of us understand that making mental health a priority should be our #1 priority today. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.